Hello, everyone. My name is Colin, or Brez, whatever you want to call me. Works fine for me. Um, so, if you're just tuning in, obviously, this is the first video on my channel, and I'm also actually live on Twitch right now at semicolon23. Um, so check it out if you want. If not, totally cool too. That's fine. Um, but yeah, I don't really know exactly how things are gonna go. I'm thinking I'm gonna kind of do regular uploads of um, what I'm doing to make gold and my day-to-day gold journey. I don't really think I'm gonna do like specific guides like you find from like student albatross that's like out farming a specific thing and advertising a gold per hour or anything like that. um you'll find that I'm doing farms and other random shit in my videos or streams or whatever, but again, it's just going to be kind of like a this is everything that happened today. So probably longer videos, maybe. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. um But I guess to kind of start off, I'll just paint the picture of where I'm at currently in my gold making, what I'm working on, and kind of give you a tour of what I'm doing. So this is my main character, Druid. I play on Area 52 Horde, by the way. On this character, I've got Inscription and Jewel Crafting. These are two fantastic professions, in my opinion. I went through a lot of different professions, um, and it wasn't until probably like halfway through season 2 that I actually really started getting inscription and jewel crafting leveled up in terms of knowledge points. Because prior to that, I was just trying out a bunch of different professions, trying to find something that I made gold with, and I wasn't really happy with the whole crafting orders process. I wasn't down to be sitting in trade chat, posting, and just trying to find people to do crafts. I like getting sales on the auction house, putting stuff up, coming back later, and seeing stuff that's sold, reposting, and just kind of managing. More, I don't know. Feels like I'm running a business. I guess it's fun. So that's basically what I focused on to start off. Specifically, again with inscription and jewel crafting. So for jewel crafting, my first route was getting gems leveled up. My recommendation would be to just get uh, one specific set of gems leveled all the way up to the point where you can be crafting rank 3 guaranteed of that gem. And then as soon as you get to that point, start working on the next and the next and the next. Um, Gems do sell super well, I will say. Within the past like week or two, the price of gems has just fallen drastically. So that's kind of disappointing. Gems were at one point, like just several weeks ago, anywhere 5, 6, all the way up to 1,000 gold sometimes, and then every once in a while the prices would even be reset, and you could get sales for gems that are like 2,000 gold each. It was insane. And that's literally like over 1,000 gold profit per gem. But now, looking at them, like rank 3 gems are 341 gold, and that seems to be the price for them, just pretty much across the board. There's a couple that I'm selling right now that are still profitable, but only like, literally only two: energized Emerald and Zen Niltherite, and then the energized Malachite are just gems that I've had left over that haven't sold. So I'm almost definitely selling these at a loss now, but you know, I don't know if and when they're going to go up. I don't really care at this point. I just kind of want to get rid of them. My bags are super full of inks, and yeah, I just want to get rid of them. Um, so yeah, that's, I mean, again, that's the main thing I've been working on in terms of jewel crafting, is just getting gems listed. Once I got gems taken care of, then I did start branching out so that I could start crafting elemental harmonies. I was at one point doing more crafting materials like frameless lens, shimmering glass, glossy stone. I don't really do those anymore just because, well, I mean, I guess to be honest, I don't know why I don't. I probably should. I guess, am a lot of times crafting other stuff that's more profitable. But one thing that can be super profitable and is pretty quick to craft too is draconic vials. Um, so obviously, it's worth checking and making sure that it is in fact profitable. Right now, they're not. Um, but when they are, you can crank out a ton of draconic vials really quick and make some decent profit on them. So those are the two main things I would work on for jewel crafting is either go gems first or go like reagents first. Pick one, fill out the one, and then go with the other. Um, Gems will definitely be profitable once season 4 comes around, so you have some time to get knowledge points into there. Um, and I mean, there's often time like there's not really a time where some gems aren't profitable. Like right now, it's only 2, which sucks. But um, by this evening, like I'm recording this on a Saturday afternoon, by this evening, uh, the price of them might go up because it's Saturday night and more people are raiding, buying gear, or not buying gear, but buying gems for their gear. So we might see the prices go up. And then also like Tuesdays, right? Gems are great to sell on Tuesdays. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing for jewel crafting. And then for inscription, you have several routes that you can go. So when I first started with inscription, I initially spec'd for treatises or treaties. I don't know what the fuck they're called. But turned out that was kind of a mistake. Treaties are not very popular. Number one, they have to be done through crafting orders. You can only fill 4 public crafting orders every like 24 hours, I think. Um, and the, the public tips for treaties are the good tips are like 100, 200 gold. Sometimes you find like some blue moon ones that are, very nice, but otherwise they're pretty shit. So definitely don't go treaties first. You could go missives. You could go like writhe bark, so you could spec into wood carving, and that would not only start giving you credit towards being able to craft staves and profession tools down the road, which can be profitable, but again, that's just crafting orders, which I'm not a huge fan of. But putting points into wood carving will help increase your profit for crafting ruined writhe bark. Um, and obviously, that's a pretty solid and profitable one. It's 38 gold per craft if I were to buy the mats off the auction house. But um, like 2 of the mats, I can craft, and 2 of the mats are farmed up, right? Not craftable. So I craft the flourishing ink, and flourishing ink is already 13 gold um, profit per craft. So I don't know the math, but this is factoring in flourishing ink at a crafting cost of 13 gold, 14 silver. But if I'm crafting it, the crafting cost is way less than that, so the profit per craft goes up for that. And then also for chilled runes, it's 11, 12 gold per profit per. On the same principle applies as the ink. So I could just buy the mats to craft chilled runes, and then my profit per craft for ruined writhe bark's probably going up to like 50. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's going up. Or I could even take it one step further and buy frostbitten wilder cloth off the auction house, unravel it with resourcefulness tailor, and my crafting cost for chilled runes reduces, and so the profit per craft would go up beyond 12. So there's really ways that you can maximize these things, and doing it makes it incredibly profitable. Um, so I definitely recommend crafting the materials you need to craft some of these end crafting reagents, or um, you know, missives. Guys, for another example, you craft up the chilled runes and then you go through and craft missives. So this is saying 44 gold profit per. It's yeah, so it changed a little bit now. It's down to 39 gold profit per. But again, if you craft the chilled rune and you craft the serene ink, your crafting cost again from the auction house right now is 51 gold, 62 silver. Maybe that goes down to like 35 gold crafting cost. And now, like, you're guaranteed 7 gold profit per. So, there it's just things like that to look at. And, a lot of times too, it can be kind of discouraging. And not so much for like the two professions I have. Um, you look at some of these crafting materials and they all say they're profitable, but in some cases you might search up something in your profession and it says it's not profitable to craft, right? But maybe it actually is if you're the one that crafts all the crafting materials required to craft that final item. Then maybe it becomes profitable. And if you've ever noticed why are people selling something at seemingly a loss on the auction house? Well, likely they are the ones that crafted up the materials to craft that final item that they're selling on the auction house. Um, so, yeah, that was a whole lot. I hope you followed along. It is a lot to kind of wrap your head around at first, I think, but once you get the idea, it makes a lot of sense, and then you can really start turning crafting into just large things. Like my serene ink, when I craft serene ink, oftentimes I craft 2,000 at a time, and so that gets me like 7-8,000 of each ink, and then I'll go through, and if I'm just crafting burnished, I'll craft up 7 to 8,000 of each ink, and then craft all my burnished. Um, and that's like a 60-70K profit probably off the auction house. Maybe not that much. I've never actually done the math, but it's massive. I don't need to do the math because I know it's profitable. And that's also kind of like I don't really care. Well, I do care about the gold per hour to some extent, but as long as like I'm making what my brain deems acceptable, I don't care if it's 20 versus 40, yada yada, as long as like I'm enjoying it and whatnot, I guess. Um so yeah, my recommendation again, I would start with missives. Missives would be a really good one. You just need to put points into archiving, shared knowledge, and then contracts and missives. Once you do that, then you can start maxing out like your basic profession uh, skills, right? Like resourcefulness, for example, is extremely important. If you're going to like let's say you're going to do inks and you look and you see that the flourishing pigment is really expensive and you don't want to pay that price for flourishing pigment, and you decide you want to mill up writhe bark yourself. Well, in that case, you are going to want as much possible resourcefulness, because resourcefulness is really the only relevant profession stat to have for milling. So you want to make sure that you are maxing out your resourcefulness, especially if you're not going crafting, um, like crafting order out, like crafting gear, crafting profession tools. If you're not going that route, stay away from inspiration to start off. Um, it might inspiration might be beneficial at the very beginning when your profession level is low, and you're just trying to craft like materials that are like rank 2 or rank 3 to sell them. But it doesn't take too long to be able to guarantee rank 3 on most crafting materials. But also keep in mind there are some crafting materials that you can't guarantee rank 3 no matter what, like ruined wrath bark. No matter what, you cannot guarantee rank 3. um, so stay away from inspiration if you're not going crafting gear or profession equipment route. Anyways, so resourcefulness is the stat you're going to want to take for things like milling, and then for things like crafting inks you're going to want multi-craft. So you're going to need several tools. I have a multi-craft tool, I do have a resourcefulness tool, and then I also do have an inspiration tool, just because at this point I can craft like profession equipment and gear, staves, offhands, that kind of thing. So that's why I have an inspiration tool. But it's really important. I cannot stress enough how important it is to make sure that you have the appropriate profession and tool, and that you're maximizing. Like, you really want to min max these profession stats like resourcefulness and multi-craft, because it really is game changers. And you also, like, in your profession knowledge points in the resourcefulness section, like, you want to make sure you max it out, because you'll notice with, I think, every profession, resourcefulness in the resourcefulness tree, every like 10 points or so, resourcefulness saves an additional percentage of mats when it procs. So it's really important. So yeah, resourcefulness, multi-craft. Make sure you pay attention to what you're crafting to determine if resourcefulness or multi-craft is the stat that you're wanting. And a good way to check that, just in case you weren't aware, I don't have any herbs. You gotta be kidding me. I'll just buy 5 of these. Okay, so you'll see right here, crafting details. The right here lists the statistics or the stats that are relevant for what you're about to craft. So as you can see, obviously recipe difficulty is listed on every single one. Skill is listed on every single one. Crafting speed is listed on every single one. Inspiration probably is too, but the ones that can interchange, or I guess the one that can be there or not, is multi-craft, and resourcefulness will always be there. But if you don't see multi-craft, that means that you likely want to make sure that you're having or wearing your resourcefulness related equipment to ensure the most bang for your buck. So I put on my resourcefulness tool, and my resourcefulness went from 30, or sorry, I think it was 23%. Let's double check. Yeah, 23% to 35. So that's a pretty big change. And that's going to every single craft. It's going to save 2, 3, 4, or not every single craft, but every single craft you do, it has a chance to save, like, I don't know, 2 to 4, maybe 5 writhe bark. And you can net a ton of extra flourishing pigment by maxing out your resourcefulness. So those are the 2 professions that I'm running, or at least started out on, and they got me going pretty well. I've been doing pretty well. If we pull up TSM here, let's look since. So this is going all the way back to September of 2022. A lot of spikes here and there. I couldn't say exactly what they were, but right towards the end of last year, around end of November towards December, I guess, I had like 30 to 50-ish thousand gold on this character, and I was like, let's see what I can do with this. I knew that I could, start crafting a few gems. And I just kept dumping every single bit of profit I made into crafting more. And you'll kind of see that's how it works here. So I did some initial purchasing and crafting and made some decent profit. I do just want to clarify one thing here, though. TSM definitely uses averages, and so like there would be times where I would empty my mailbox and immediately go into the auction house, purchase items, and like zero out my character's gold, and craft. And TSM doesn't really reflect that, and so there would be like there's a little spike here that you can see, but I didn't turn like 30,000 gold into 400 and 30,000 gold. I did like several times like buying and selling here. But if you hold the gold in your inventory for just a period of time, then it'll kind of like fully keep track of it. So another thing you might have noticed, might not, but I don't empty out my mailbox on like a very regular basis. I kind of like to spend the gold that I have trying to make money. And then once I've spent everything I've got, I then empty out my mailbox. And so that's kind of why you see these, spikes or weird kind of marks in my profit. So I made 563,000 gold, and then here's kind of the steps down of me spending that gold and recrafting. And then I emptied my bail box, and that put me at 810,000 gold. Then I immediately drained my pockets down to 102 crafting, emptied my bail box, so on. You get the picture. And that put me at the most recent time I emptied my bail box. I guess that put me up to 2.5 million gold. And as you can see, I'm on the downward trend from there. So between last time I emptied my mailbox, or the previous time to last and last, I made about 500k. And that was what, about January 10th and then January 22nd. So like 12 days. 12 days to make 500k. That seems pretty fucking awesome. So that's the one thing that I'm doing, and that's just this character. So if I log over to, let's see here, I just kind of want to make note of one thing on this character just for relevancy later. I don't know that it will be relevant later, but just in case. He just has a decent amount of money, and it's from profession stuff that I've done in the past and boosting. I used to, last season, I would sell carries, and so that's one thing I've done on this character. So he's got a little bit, but currently I really am not active on him. Also, I do like, professions, or not professions, but world quests and that kind of shit. So he's got some stuff, but again, I don't do a whole lot on this fella. So that brings us over here. So this is my second account. I have two accounts. Highly recommend. Very highly recommend. And I should have put this guy in the city earlier, but there's a couple of different things that I do on this account currently for gold making, and some of it is like, I'm trying some new stuff, and that's kind of why I started this stream. Is I've been enjoying trying new, different methods of gold making, and I just kind of want to share it, and also like be kind of realistic about it. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not gonna make a video that's like, well, I don't know. Hopefully this doesn't bite me in the ass earlier, but I'm not gonna make a video that's like 500k an hour doing this one thing or whatever. I ain't about that life. So yeah, this was kind of this character right here was kind of my first adventure into trying some new things. I was only doing the professions on my druid really, and um, you can only do jewel crafting and inscription on one character on one server enough, right? Like it's not enough to like totally occupy all the time that I had for gold making. And so I was like, damn, like I gotta find something else. Um, so was looking into what to do, and I was looking through like LFG actually in custom groups, and I was seeing all these different. I was seeing all these different like farm, fire, BOE, earth, group farms, 2x4. And I've never really done 2x4s, group farms, or anything like that. So I was like, well, let's check one of those out. But I saw they all were like, need hunter, need pole. And I'm like, fuck, I don't have a hunter. But I had, pre-ordered War Within, and I had a free level 70 boost on my second account. So I boosted up this fella, Zerb, and it's just backwards of my main Brez. And I don't know where the hell all this has come from, but sweet. I boosted up this dude and started doing the BOE, Fire, Earth, those farms, and I put a good amount of time into it. I'll be honest, but I mean, like, look, 579,000 gold. It was actually more. I think I sent 100,000 to a different one of my characters to kind of get them started, and I'll be logging on him here shortly. But this character is literally everything. All of his gold is from doing those not volatile, rousing fire, earth, and BOE farms. And I mean, I definitely recommend it. It's raw gold, number one. It's like you're guaranteed raw gold. And also you can kind of guarantee yourself if you pick up tailoring and enchanting. If you level up enchanting, you just need to get to 25 so you can spec into Inside of the Blue, and then you spec into Inside of the Blue again. Sorry. So Inside of the Blue on the top tab, and then just Inside of the Blue in the main thing. This increases your chance to find rousings when you killing dudes. So they will increase your chance in total by 40%. So that increases your rousings, so the gold per hour additional there. And then if you go into tailoring, as everyone probably knows, in the past, just having tailoring increased the amount of cloth that you get, but you can actually spec into tailoring mastery and then specifically cloth collection, and level this all the way up 50 points. And this will increase the amount of cloth you get by, like, I think 40% in total as well. And then at 0.50 out of 50, you'll start looting bolts of wilder cloth bolts off of dudes. And so, like, all of these bolts in my bags, all the wilder cloth, tattered wilder cloth rousings, all of that is just from doing this farm. And I did it for, like, I think an hour or so. So, that's all basically guaranteed raw gold, and it's probably, I don't know, 10 to 15k, maybe a little bit less, but that's not the best part. So the best part of doing those farms is the BOEs that you get. So you get all kinds of BOEs, current Dragonflight BOEs that sell for a decent amount. I mean, some are pretty cheap, but as you can see, some do sell for a decent amount, and then especially the ones that sell for a decent amount are going to be the ones with that third stat. Um, and you really want to look for the ones with plus speed on them. So people that are building speed sets for farming, open world farming right now, if they have a level 70 character, then they have to buy a lot of speed gear from Dragonflight. So that speed gear will sell for a lot more. And so that's a good thing to keep your eyes peeled for when you do like the BOE farming. And then, real quick, just to show y'all where that BOE farming takes place, not Zerlik Cavern, it's in the Emerald Dream. So there's a couple spots, but it's all basically right here up in the Scorching Chasm. So there's like a little floating green island, like I think right here ish, that is typically what I've seen people do this on in the past. And you just kind of stand on the green island, and there's a ton of mobs, and you just kind of spin in a circle and you kill them all. But I have just recently started seeing some groups moving down really close to here. They're just further down. There's some fire elementals, and I've seen some groups actually down in the fire elementals because that way you have a lot larger access to fire elementals to kill, which ultimately increases the number of rousing fire you receive. So either option, would work. And then also there's going to be some groups that are just farming BOEs. And if they do that, they might be over here. And you can just literally stand still and, pew pew. One other recommendation, if you're going to make a hunter for doing this type of farming, my biggest recommendation under the hunter tree spec into Barrage. This is a ability. You don't have to have a target. You can press it and you just spam bullets, and anything in front of you within 46-yard range will get hit and take damage. So it's just a easy, quick way to gather up a bunch of mobs. I also recommend having a keybind for misdirection, because if you're not geared, you're going to get your ass kicked when you're out in Emerald Dream farming, and you gonna die. So that's why I have these health potions. So I've got all these defensives here to be to be ready. So yeah, heads up. I did this farm for I don't know, probably I won't lie, I put a solid chunk of time into it, maybe 10 to 15 hours, and made like 600k, probably more like 15 hours of into that farm. So I don't know, you do the math, I don't know what that comes out to, but I think that's pretty solid gold per hour. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing on this dude. I just recently started doing this farm again. I kind of took a break from it, got burnt out. So definitely going to be doing some more of it in the future, and also definitely recommend doing it in a 2x4 if you are able to. All right, let's move on to my next character. I've got two more that I'm doing stuff on. We'll start off with Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi is my newest venture. So he is my transmog farmer. So I have been trying all different types of transmog farms, Wayland Caverns, RFK, Shadowfang Keep,
Work complete.
Oh shit, Sunwell. I was just over here trying to farm up the Glazer, and it did not go well. So I've done a ton of different raids, dungeons, Silithus, Saltstone Cave, all kinds of shit. No success with like anything too crazy, but we've gotten some good shit. So yeah, like I said, he's kind of my newest venture. So I've never really done transmog farming before. It's never been, well, it's always just been kind of like, I don't know if it's worth it, because because I don't know how long it's going to take for stuff to sell, and I don't want to wait for stuff to sell. But I don't know. I guess I kind of just realized, like, I'm looking for stuff to farm. As I mentioned earlier, I was looking for stuff to farm because I couldn't just only do jewel crafting and inscription on Area 52. Um, and so I also got sick of, the 2x4 Emerald Dream farms. So I was like, well, why not? And then especially, it's like I'm playing the game. Um, what's the like? It doesn't make sense to not have some auctions that I can just post up for 24 hours, follow up in 24 hours, repost. Now, obviously, I do get on this character and go do farming, and I'm cool with that. I enjoy it. Different farms doing different things. Some are super mindless. Some are a little bit more involved. Um, but it's easy. And then I just, when I'm done, I come, I post up the stuff on the auction house, and I move on. I either go to a new farm or get on a different character. Um, and so with this character, what I'm doing is, I've initially I had just all the transmog that I've farmed up, and I was kind of I don't know, I kind of hate that I was doing this, but I was just kind of vendoring all the junk that I got. But I've been good now. I'm putting it into a separate TSM group. And my don't get on me about these groups, guys. Okay, like I don't want to hear it. So now I've got all this just random shit in this group of crafting materials that I've collected while I am gathering, and they're not gathering, but you know what I mean. While I'm farming up transmog or whatever, so I just get that stuff, toss it in the group, post it up. I have had shit for sales in terms of transmog. I think actually I just collected like 800 gold from something. Yeah. Glorious Gauntlets of the Fire Flash. That's actually my first transmog sale. Yippee! So yeah, this character just had a little bit of gold on him, but then I've probably made about 20 to 25k now just in raw gold, vendoring junk, vendoring soulbound stuff, and then uh, auctioning all the random crafting materials that I get. Um, so this is kind of my newest thing. I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time doing this and or doing transmog farming, posting it up. So that's something that you can expect to see. Plus, all the other stuff that I've already reviewed. I kind of do it all, and it's fun. I enjoy it. So now we'll take a look at like my last character that I'm actively doing anything gold making wise on, and that's my demon hunter. Um, so my demon hunter has engineering, and my demon hunter has tailoring. Both have been not the great. Well, tailoring is pretty solid for gold making. Engineering, I haven't put that much effort into it so far. To be totally honest with you, I kind of just switched to engineering from alchemy. I was leveling up alchemy, and I had the transmute for Dracothist, and doing the whole shebang. But I wanted more than just crafting Dracothist, and it seems like it more than just crafting Dracothist is it takes a while to accomplish that. You basically have to get points in everything before you're at that point. So I decided to drop alchemy and pick up uh, engineering because I was like, I know engineering's got crafting materials that I can craft up. Um, and that's kind of what I'm working on. It's just the challenge is I know some of these crafting materials. Um, well, I just, obviously I need to get my engineering up to 100, and I need to get the knowledge trees filled out. so that I can really make sure that these are profitable. So it's kind of a work in progress. But for tailoring, I have done just about everything I can in terms of, well, I have not done everything that I can. I take that back, but I've done enough to make it profitable. So we got Draconic Needlework, we got Azure Weave Tailoring unlocked. We also got Chronocloth, so I can craft 10 Chronocloth bolts, I think a week, and 20 Azure Weave. I'm not sure if that's how the timers work out, if it's exactly weekly or what, but um, probably not. But that's how it is for me right now. So I just craft those once they max out. Um, and then really the only other main thing from tailoring that I'm doing right now that's making me money is crafting Azure Weave Expedition packs. And that is, that comes down to, reference back to what I was saying earlier with Inscription and jewel crafting is, um, the important stat with this one is resourcefulness. And so you want to max that out. And I'm actually kind of slacking because I haven't maxed out my profession tools. And it certainly would technically make it more profitable. And then I also, I could still max out embroidery to make bag making even that much more profitable. Um, so that is something that I still need to do. And once I do get like embroidery maxed out, Azure Weave Expedition packs will continue to be profitable for me. Um, but I might even, start trying to do wilder cloth bags and reagent bags as well. Obviously, they are profitable. The profit's pretty mediocre. So if I could make it even better, then I definitely want to do that. And then lastly, you could possibly make some profit with wilder cloth bolts, vibrant wilder cloth bolts, and furious wilder cloth bolts. I haven't dabbled too much into Infurious. I've done vibrant. Those are definitely profitable when the uh, Barterbrick quest is vibrant wilder cloth, vibrant wilder cloth bolts. But otherwise, they might not be the gen. Um, that's kind of, with this guy, that's kind of where we're at. So what I have been doing on him is I do kind of go for some of the more like one-off things. Like, I do make sure that I do my world quest on this character weekly, especially because I'm still trying to get um, Valdraken Accord to 22 so that I can start making the Chronocloth reagent bag. So I do my world quest weekly on this guy, or twice weekly, I suppose. And then like the feast, trying to get like the flavor pocket, and then I join other random streams here and there on this guy, or like stream farms, depending if it's relevant for a demon hunter. So yeah, that's kind of what my approach to keys has been, or keys. Why, I can't believe I said keys. That has been my approach to gold making as of recent. Um, it's pretty successful. I think I do want to get wowthing.org set up and figure out how the add-on. I think there's an add-on for it or something. Um, so I do eventually want to do that, but yeah, I guess we'll just kind of see. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the stream, twitch.tv/semicolon23. Come check it out. I definitely want to do group farms, and help people make gold. Also learn from people. I've done a lot of learning watching streams here within the past several weeks. So it's a great way to learn new methods. So if you enjoyed, check it out. But again, thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.